Okay, folks, carrying on with our series for AS Pure Maths, looking at old spec Edexcel papers. So this is Core 1 Edexcel from the May 2017 series, looking at completing the square and working with graphs. So question 5a, we're told or given that f of x is equal to x squared minus 8x plus 19. So it's a quadratic. Part A, express f of x in the form x plus a all squared plus b, where a and b are constants. So remember, alarm bells should be ringing. Whenever we see this format, we should be thinking completing the square, guys. So I'm going to open up a bracket. I'm going to put an x. Then I'm going to do half the coefficient of x. So half of minus 8 is minus 4. I'm going to close the brackets and then square it. And then I'm going to subtract this number squared. So minus 4 squared, okay, is minus 16. Okay, and then copy down that plus 19. After that, guys, all we do is simplify, so collect our like terms. Okay, this is going to simplify to x minus 4, okay, in close brackets, all squared, plus 3. So minus 16 plus 19 is plus 3. Okay, so it says in the next part, the curve C with the equation y equals f of x crosses the y-axis at point P and has a minimum point at point Q, at the point Q. So part B, sketch the graph of C showing the coordinates of point P and the coordinates of point Q. So it crosses the y-axis at plus 19. So remember, the y-axis is when x is equal to 0. So if I have f of 0, we have 0 squared, which is 0, minus 8 times 0 is 0. So we have 0 minus 0 plus 19. So the coordinates of P, guys, is going to be, okay, 0, 19. Again, sorry that my drawing here isn't perfect. Okay, and then the coordinates of point Q, which is a minimum point. Now we've completed the squares, so we know our minimum point will be the coordinates for 3. Okay, so that's obviously from our answer to part A. That is the reason why we complete the square, to find our turning point or our minimum point. Okay, so it's 4, 3. So Q has coordinates 4, 3, and P has coordinates 0, 19. Okay. So the y-axis, okay, is the line x equals 0. So we sub in x is 0 to work out the y value, and then to work out the coordinates of q, okay, once we have the completed square form, okay, we flip the sign for the x coordinate. So instead of minus 4, it'd be plus 4, and the y coordinate is just the number on the outside, okay, of our completed square version. So here, a is equal to 4 and b equals 3. Okay, or a actually equals minus 4 here. Okay, yeah, if you're wondering. So plus a equals minus 4. Okay, next up, so that's obviously part B done now, worth 3 marks. Okay, what about part C? Find the distance of PQ, writing your answer as a simplified surd. So we've got this point here and this point here. Okay, so I'm going to draw like a little line. Again, forgive me here that this is not drawn like perfectly. Okay, so it's going to be that point there. Okay, so whenever we're looking for distance, guys, we should be thinking Pythagoras. Okay, so we've got 2 points. So it's going to be the square root of, so it's the difference in the x coordinates. Okay, it doesn't matter here if you're doing this minus this. So from 0 to 4, we're going to have 4 or minus 4 all squared. Okay, then from 3 to 19, that'll be plus 15. So plus 15 squared. Okay, so if you work this out, guys, 4 squared makes 16. 15 squared here is 225. So we have 16 plus 225, guys. Okay, we end up getting the square root, okay, of 241. Okay, now it says as a simplified surd. Now this is actually technically a non-calculated paper, but I don't want to waste a lot of time here. Okay, so I'm going to try and obviously work out some factors of this number. So 3 doesn't go into it. Does 11 go into it? So let's just check. Okay, so that can't actually be simplified. So that, guys, is our final answer. Okay, so yep, so distance PQ is root 241, and that, guys, is our distance of PQ. Okay, so you might see me write it as, yeah, as the modulus of PQ like that. So that just means distance is equal to this. Okay, now you might be asking, oh, why did I not put like a minus or a minus there? Whenever you're working out distance here, it's just the magnitude. So I'm taking the positive amount. So yes, I'm working out the difference here because obviously, yeah, I'm going like a downward slope. It doesn't really matter because it's distance. Okay, the answer has to be positive. So because, yeah, it's a magnitude. Okay, obviously, if I put minus here and I put it in brackets, that's also fine. Yeah. Then if I put, yeah, plus and then minus 15 in brackets there, obviously if you square a negative here, it becomes a positive anyway. Okay, but it doesn't matter here if you put minus 4 in brackets or squared or 4 squared. Okay, because we're looking at the magnitude, because it's distance has to be positive. Okay, by logic. Okay, so yeah, so we're not looking here at like direction. Okay, so it doesn't matter here which signs I use actually, as long as I work out the difference. Okay, so yeah, to go from 0 to 4 or 4 to 0, yeah, it's a distance of 4 in the x direction, and then it's a distance of 16 in the y direction. Okay, sorry, I've made a little mistake. Sorry, it should be 16 squared, not 15 actually. Sorry about that. Okay, so yes, so 16 squared. Apologies about that. Sorry, from 3 to 19, yeah, it's going to be 16 squared. Now, 16 squared, if you work it out, is 256, I think, okay? Which becomes what? The square root of 272, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. So yeah, I fixed here before obviously I pressed end. So it should be the square root of 272. This can be simplified because obviously it's an even number. Okay, again, I'm going to cheat a bit here and just do it on my phone because I really can't be bothered yet to obviously work out long-winded. When we do that, we get 4 root 17. So we have root 16 times root 17, so it's 4 root 17. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Apologies about that. But yeah, okay. I mean, the mistake there would have cost me like 1 mark here for those who were quite pedantic. But yeah, okay. But yeah, the actual answer here should be 4 root 17 as a simplified surd. Okay, because it's a simplified actually, yeah, like a new year, something was actually wrong here from the previous answer. But yeah, that, guys, is our final answer. Okay, let me just double check what 16 squared is here just to make sure. Yep, that's right. Yep. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I double checked there. Okay. But hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Thank you for watching.